Okay, recording has started.
It is 6 o'clock and I'll call the meeting to order.
All right, roll call. Chair Dina Phelps,
Here.
Vice Chair Maggie Burns,
Here.
Elizabeth Copps, Luke Curtis, Kyle Davenport,
Here.
Alex Day,
Here.
Marie Hoda, Edie Hughes,
Here.
and City Council Liaison Chelsea Noonenkamp. And excused, we have Amy Wilson and Inglewood School Liaison Devon Williams. Staff, we have Library Director Rachel Fewell and Library Operations Manager Carrie Watson. And guests, we have J.R. Clanton with BerryDunn. Right, thank you.
Should we go ahead and do introductions? The new member, Elizabeth, so welcome, very exciting. So maybe quickly, we can just go around and do an introduction. It's a lot of names. No work. So I'll go first, but if everybody can share their name, their preferred pronouns. If you know what neighborhood you live in Inglewood, we can share that, and then maybe what you're reading right now. Sorry to be on spot. So my name's Dina. My preferred pronouns are she, her. I knew this was coming, so hang on. So I live in Strayers Broadway Heights neighborhood. Yep. This is great. I did it. But it's close to Bates Logan. And then I'm currently reading, or I'm about to start Somewhere Beyond the Sea by TJ Klune. It's really, that's really, so I'm about to start it, but it's the August book club book for the Out and About book club. So also live for that, if that sounds good. So,
Okay, I'm next. I'm Maggie Burns. I use she, her pronouns. I live in Rose Park neighborhood. And I am currently reading, I think, 6 different books, but I am reading a hard copy of Sense and Sensibility, which feels very big kid of me. It's very good. Yes, for reading excitement. And it is so good.
what is your book?
Sense and Sensibility.
Oh.
Let's do it for TBR. I'm Chelsea Noonenkamp. I'm a city council liaison for the library board. And what that means is that I'm not a voting member of this board. You all completely guide this board without any influence from staff or council, but we're here to support. And then also I'm trying to answer any questions from a council perspective that you might have. And then I provide a report back to council about what this board discusses. This board is defined in our city charter. And so you have a lot of autonomy in that, which is really exciting for citizens to lead this. I represent District 2, which is the northeast corner of the city. I also live in the Romans Park neighborhood, more affectionately known as the Mushroom Park. More familiar. I'm also reading many books at the moment, but I just picked up like 1,000 Holds, which I'm very stressed about. What I'm most excited about is I just got Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins, reading the new buzzy books.
Excited. Oh yeah, a little bit. I'm Carrie Watson. I'm the library operations manager. And not only do I work for the city, I also live in the city. So I am in the Kimball-Croft Park neighborhood, which is one of the tiniest neighborhoods in Inglewood. But I also have kids here in Inglewood and but I she, her pronouns, and I am reading a YA novel called Instant Karma right now. It's not cute.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Elizabeth Cox, hello. She, her pronouns. I shamefully don't know my neighborhood. I'm right by Swedish. So is that known as the medical?
Medical district.
Medical district, okay. I'm reading Bunny by Mona Wan right now. And just a little bit of background. I come from a literary background. I owned a literary agency here in Inglewood. I freelance edit. I've been a loyal library patron since I could think. I'm a member of Vibrant Englewood. Community building is really, really important to me. And so I hope to be a positive bridge between the larger Englewood community, city council, and the library staff. Very thrilled to be here. So looking forward to getting to know everybody.
I'm Marie. You know, I live in, I use she, her pronouns. I live in the Bellevue Park neighborhood, and I'm currently reading a book called Maggie, or it's like Maggie semicolon, or A Man and a Woman Walk into a Barn. Very long title, it takes up the whole. Yeah.
Kyle Davenport, him, I live in Mansfield Heights, which is just across and Jefferson from the Wellness District. And I was on a 2-week driving trip with my kids, so I needed to pretend like I was reading a book that didn't require a lot of concentration. So I have continued my way through all of the Joe Nesbo street thrillers, which I really like.
I'm Alex Day. I use they, them pronouns, and I live in the Hawthorne neighborhood, which I always have to look up. And I am almost finished with like my 5th reread of Men at Arms by Terry Pratchett. It's a good one.
I know, I'm writing down. Debbie Severa, I'm the executive assistant for Parks and Rec, Library and Golf. I'm trying to think. Okay, she, her. I live in Englewood too, right down the street from Marie, Bellevue Park neighborhood. And actually, I'm not reading a book right now. I'm lucky I even make it open. Yeah.
I'm Rachel Fewell and I'm the director of the library. I use she, her pronouns. I am in between books right now, but I will tell you my juicy book that I keep telling people about is Careless People, the Facebook tell-all memoir. It's good. A lot of tea. Get into it.
Who wrote it?
I can't remember the woman's name. It's, if you look up Careless People though, it's a very buzzy book from a month or so ago. Yeah.
It's on my hand.
Thank you. Thank you.
And it's good.
And she reads the audio. It's so good.
I'm Luke Curtis, he, him pronouns. I am reading a book called The Courage to Be Disliked, which has been good so far. Yeah, I live in the Whitaker neighborhood, which is Colorado's finest high school. It's routes. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Nice to meet everyone.
I'm Edie Hughes, and the pronouns I use she, her. I live in the hospital district. And the book that I'm reading now is Table for Two by Amor Tolles. Yes, the only problem is I fall asleep. And then I have to remember, pick it up and try to go back a few pages, not to confuse it with my next book. Or like my previous book.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I thought it was my age on.
Welcome, we're really excited to have you. Thank you. And thanks, everybody. It's fun to just, I think, learn more about everybody and like what we're reading. Okay, so we'll go ahead and move on to approval of the minutes. A reminder, this is from May, since we canceled June due to the Juneteenth holiday.
I'll move approval of the May minutes.
I'll second that. All those that approve the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Sorry, guys. Thank you. Any opposed? Oh, thank you. My brain is like, you're good. Okay. I don't believe we have any public comment, so we'll go ahead and move on to the statistical report.
Oops. I should have brought my notes.
So yeah, you should have 2 months of stats here. One thing to note, I think, is that I mentioned, I think in the first board meeting that we had together, that I'd like to adjust our view of this. So Carrie and I have been having a lot of meetings with our IT consultant about how we can show you these stats in a more meaningful way that might let you know actually how much of our time is going to outreach, how these interactions even play out in terms of human beings. And so we're still on our hunt to create a dashboard, which we'd love to share with you once we get that up and running. But it's a little bit of a start stop. We get the data we need and then we don't have the API to make sure it feeds into Power BI. So we're working on it and I really want that to show to you, but it's just slow progress and many little changes we're making all along. But yeah, anything of note that you have questions about in our stats for May and June?
I wanted to ask about the June volunteer hours and whether that's including the children's programming hours or if, or like the Kimberly's.
It should be included.
Okay,
The reason it's lower than it was previously, or it seems to be stagnant.
Yeah.
Is because the ties volunteers from the high school are not working during the summer.
Okay.
So it's almost like their hours are being swapped with the teen volunteers for Kimberly's.
Cool. So I know we talked with Hannah when she presented about this. I think it would be really nice for us to parse those apart so that we can just see what's like summer reading because I think the summer reading volunteer like really probably bolsters this even a little bit more than it should.
Yeah.
So that would be great for July.
Got you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
The meeting room sessions seem to be going pretty well.
Yeah.
Are you collecting money quite a bit?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
That's a pretty decent revenue source for
Yeah.
us. So, yes, meeting rooms are great.
Can you remind us the fee on that?
10 an hour?
And
Yeah.
and then just
Like
add,
20,
since you
maybe
asked,
2 hours.
146 of those hours are teen.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, good one.
So
You're pulling up stats.
Okay, a large portion of them.
And we're working to create more job descriptions on each of our teams so that we'll be able to welcome more volunteers as people are interested. All right.
anybody else have anything? All right, we will go ahead and move on to our strategic plan presentation.
Figure out the best way to
Understand.
Well, hello, everyone. It's great to be here with you all again. It's a really fun time. Today is, I hope, as much of a celebration and, for the accomplishment of you all creating this strategic plan as it is a real optimistic time for what's coming in the future for Inglewood Public Library. My name is J.R. Clanton, and I've been lucky enough to be the project manager working with you all on this project for the last, not quite a year. But it's been really fun getting to know you all better. I live in Denver. So if you know where the Trader Joe's is on Colorado Boulevard, I live right by that. So
We know it.
say hi next time you're visiting. And it's really great to help out with the local library. We provide strategic planning and master planning services all over the country for parks, recreation, and libraries, but it is exciting to get to work on a local project. Next slide, please. So here's the agenda. I want to talk a little bit about the process, the strategic plan, and then some of the next steps. So the strategic planning process, this is really important because a lot of questions will come up about what is the authority behind what is in the strategic plan? Why are you recommending what you're recommending? And it's good for you all to know that right now as a board, because you can advocate and speak to it. It's even more important as we get out a couple years and people are asking and questioning, why are we doing what we're doing? And you've lost some of that institutional knowledge. So I do think that familiarity with the process is important for communicating effectively why we're doing what we're doing. So next slide. It's a little bit about what we're trying to accomplish. The goal of this was to create a 5-year strategic plan. This really is a guide for how the library should invest all of its resources, right? It's money, it's people, it's time, it's space. It was from the beginning, the charge was have this be informed by both community input, so your residents and partners, as well as staff. And all staff were heavily involved at every phase of the project. So it's really cool. So the strategic plan that's been created is truly a reflection of community input, staff input, and then staff's interpretation of how to best achieve the desired input received from the community. Their fingerprints are all over this. Facilitation centered in diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging was absolutely critical to the process. It's laid out straight from the beginning. We want to make sure we're not hearing just from the power users of the library, but as best representative a sample of the communities we can get. And then finally, we want a plan that's not only implementable, but also allows us to communicate how we're achieving what we're achieving. And so that's why performance indicators and anticipated outcomes were also an important part of this process straight from the beginning. Next slide. And this is another thing. When people ask you what went into this, well, a lot went into this. There was a ton of work from both the qualitative and quantitative side. We did benchmarking, we did demographics assessments, we did drive time analysis. We did all sorts of things that gave us quantitative data to assess the library on. Similarly, we did a lot of community input that asked both multiple choice and open-ended questions. And from that, we got a lot of the qualitative data that we were seeking. We held task force meetings, a community task force. So we put together a representative task force of all different aspects of your community, both resident, partner, and elected official, in order to provide us input. And similarly, we had all staff workshops, which was really cool. We had multiple of them. Most libraries don't do that, so I really commend Inglewood for doing that. So some of the stats you get to throw out, we had almost 1,000 visits to the website, 430 survey contributions, 130 budget exercises, which is really good. A lot of times we get people to take the survey and then they're done and don't want to do the budget exercise. And getting over a quarter of them to actually stay and do the budget exercise is awesome. It's usually around an 8, so people are interested. And yeah.
We heard from a few people who were horrified that we only had $100. We're upset about that, JR.
That's funny.
I know, like, what? Oh, I get where you thought that.
Now I'm curious. Next time.
Sorry.
No, next time I'll put the actual budget.
Oh, God.
Then you won't get anybody.
No, people will still be. And then we also had 35 just open-ended comments. And then, of course, those task force meetings. So these are just some of the numbers that, again, you can quote or throw out there when people are asking how much input did you actually receive? We received a lot. Next slide. So what's in the strategic plan? Strategic plans are really interesting because they really have to accomplish 2 things. They have to actually be a planning document for staff, but they also have to be a communication document to the public, right? They have to tell the public what the library does and what it's trying to achieve and how it's trying to achieve it. Similarly, staff is looking at it for similar input, but then thinking about it from a practical, how do we implement standpoint. And so there's a few things that go into the strategic plan document to try to achieve this. And the key thing is, we focus on making strategic plans that are accessible. So this means that they use language that's understandable from the community, general people. So we try to avoid library specific. Exactly. So things like that. We also make documents that are visually appealing. And we do that not out of vanity, but really to draw readers in and keep their interest. We also use things like high contrast color palettes in order to make it readable for people with disabilities. So it's little things like that that it's not really all about vanity. So though it certainly looks nice and you should be proud of it, there is really reasoning behind it. When it comes to these elements, we'll go through each of them in more detail. But the thing that is up there that I think is most important for libraries and unique to library strategic planning is this concept of roles right there in the beginning. And that stems from the fact that libraries all over the country are being asked to do a whole wide array of services that may not be typically viewed as historically library functions. But for those communities, those libraries are absolutely meeting the needs of their community. But in each community, there might be other organizations meeting that need. And so you can't just copy what one library is doing and consider yourself, we're good to go. You have to take care to put up guardrails for in Inglewood, what does the library expect of us? And so that's a very unique thing that you're not going to see in other types of strategic plans. And we'll go over in more detail when we get there. Next slide, please. So the Inglewood strategic plan. It is designed. We are just making last final revisions to the document, and then it'll be ready to go live in planning. But what you're seeing here are actual screenshots and, well, in this case, cropped screenshots from the actual document. And so you'll, thank you. So the first thing is vision. So the strategic plan has the language that the library uses to describe itself and also to say where it wants to go. And so the vision for the Inglewood Public Library for the next 5 years, we hope that at the end of this plan, you're in the heart of the community, we connect, engage, and empower all. The mission of the Inglewood Public Library. The Inglewood Public Library promotes curiosity and continuous learning, builds connections, and empowers individuals to explore, learn, and achieve their goals. So these are the values, and a lot of work goes into defining the values. But they are welcoming, essential, resourceful, curiosity, connections, and this. I'll give you all a second to read those. And what's neat about the values, I like to think of them almost in a restrictive mindset. So you should never do anything over the next 5 years that violates any of those values. Mm-hmm. You know, if it's good on five out of the 6, no. You know, oh right. There's no almost with that. And so then these are the roles, and these are central to what the library should be investing its resources in. This is how the strategic plan is organized. And really, this is the framework. So when someone comes forward with a request or a great idea, or you're considering what to fund or do, it should fit into one of these roles. I'm not saying it can't, but you need to have a really deep discussion, and 99 times out of 100, stick to these to stay true to your process.
Like that brain graphic.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
Our designer loves icons and he makes them. So yeah, and you know, he also loves fonts. Don't ever get him into a discussion about fonts. He like goes to conference. So we're all of the.
You have a good.
Yeah, serious.
So then we get to strategies. And so strategies are, think of these as action sets. So these are not the specific actions, these are roll-ups of actions. And for the strategic plan document, this is the level of detail we recommend going to in the strategic plan document. And there's a couple of reasons for this. The main one is because it doesn't bog it down in detail. The other thing it does is it gives you as a board and you as a staff flexibility to adjust annual plans that fit within this without voiding the whole document because something's changed within a year. And there are tools that complement the strategic plan, which you were talking about earlier with the dashboards and stuff, that will allow you to get to that next level of detail. So when it comes to the first role, ambassador of learning, these are the action sets that will be the focus of the next 5 years. Sorry, this is the other thing. This isn't this isn't an all-inclusive list, right? Like you still have to like turn on the lights and clean the bathrooms. Okay? And so, you know, from a management discussion, it's not okay for staff to say, well, I didn't do the weeding because it wasn't in the, you know, strategic plan. That's not what we're getting at. The strategic plan is in a lot of ways the additional things we're going to do to move the library forward. But there is a core understanding that we're still doing day-to-day operations. Next slide, please. So community hosts, which is definitely my favorite defining of roles ever. You have the most creative staff. Give them something boring like, you know, third place, and they like figured out what do we actually mean by that and came up with the great wording. And then finally, next slide, resource depot. Next slide. So we've talked about what the language the library uses to describe itself, its values. Excuse me, we've talked about the areas of focus for the library and its strategies for working within those areas of focus for the next 5 years. What does the library hope to achieve? If it's successful in implementing those strategies, what does it hope to achieve? And these are the goals, the 5 goals identified within the library. These are the goals that we will be tracking against. And then for each of those goals, what are the measures that we're going to be tracking? And these are some of the measures. I couldn't fit them all on one slide, so it is a 2-slider. I'm sorry.
And when we were working with JR on this part, we were like really aware that we had to develop some baselines for a lot of things first. So a lot of them you'll see, we're like identifying a number so that next year we can have a % increase target. So it looks like that right now.
No, and it's important to do. You know, you don't give up because, we don't have a baseline, so we're not going to measure that. No, get a baseline and then we'll start measuring. And it's okay. Okay, so that's the published strategic plan. So what goes next? How do we implement that? So next slide, please. So a good strategic plan states what, why, how, where. You've got one building, but you also serve a community. Multi-year initiatives with scale. So getting better or ramping up, ramping down. So that's where you talk about improvements or baseline, that sort of thing. Considering your existing culture and resources. This is super important. And this is where all of the engagement efforts with the community and staff come into play. Outcomes and measures. And also, and this is really important, being accessible and flexible. You want a document that can be flexible enough that it's still relevant in a year from now. Otherwise, you'll shelve it. So the way we do that is we keep this published strategic plan good on defining, like really detailed on defining who we are and what we are and how we operate. But when it comes to the specifics of what we do, we allow ourselves some flexibility in order to respond to changing realities. And so on the next slide, that's where we develop action plans. And so your action plans are developed annually for each of those strategies. And you start identifying key components, including time frame, resources needed, measures, predicted outcomes, which goals they're supporting, all of these things. And you do it through a dashboard, which we've been working with you all to develop. And if you go to the next slide, here it is in its rawest form, and we'll go through it in exhaustive detail, never, because she won't let me. But what I will say, and the point is not to be able to read this, the point of this is to give you an idea of the level of detail we're tracking internally. So in this, each of those green rows under Ambassador of Learning represents one of those strategies, or represents a potential strategy we were considering, because this is an older version of the work plan. And you can start getting specific action items under each of those that staff is now tracking. Staff is in the process right now of refining the dashboard to be specific to their operations. And then what you do is you link it to your budget process. That makes city manager happy. And that also gets you more funding because you're speaking their language and all those other great things. We will then work with you all, and I'm super excited about it, to create a dashboard that will actually use Power BI to link from the final version of this document into whatever system you want to use to present it. So it's detailed. This has all the details some of your more detailed happy people will be looking for. It does exist. We just believe pretty firmly in not bogging down the actual strategic plan with it. We really think it's important to have a separate implementation action item focused work plan in addition to the strategic plan. Thank you. So next slide.
Let me,
The other thing, sorry.
oh, no, let me,
It's okay. It's just a thank you slide. I always put it in. We're actually- questions and stuff.
Get
We're
over
trying to
here
do
to
good
the
about it.
arrows. You put the down one.
there, that one opened.
So thank you.
Oh,
And
my mic.
definitely open it up to any questions and comments you all might have.
Where are you publishing this?
Where am I?
You said that's for the public,
Mhm.
like a mini version, so.
So the document itself is formatted to be printed, and it will also be available to be put online wherever you all choose to put it online. For the dashboard and spreadsheet, again, that's where City of Inglewood chooses to publish it.
Right.
Yeah, so
We definitely will have a copy available on the website. Probably under the library and
Yeah,
So print copies.
totally. And we're working with our communications team for a public rollout of it. So they'll put it in all the right spots on our website, and it'll be a big splashy October rollout.
Nice.
Well, is the dashboard something that's meant to be public too, or is that more like our like the statistical report or like more internal, like reviewing?
I think it can go both ways. I've seen dashboards available to the public. I think maybe we'll try to keep ours in-house for like a year and see if it's worth publishing to the public.
Yeah.
I don't know that anyone wants to really see like how many school visits we do or whatever, right? But that's,
I was thinking.
We'll also have information like which staff are in charge of it.
yeah.
They're working on which pieces of it. So some of it will be kind of just more internal, but obviously everything is public ultimately. But it's probably not something that we would link directly.
Right.
But be prepared for y'all to see it at any time.
Mhm.
This feels really exciting. I'm like, thank you for all the work that you and your team have done. Yeah, you and your staff have done an incredible amount of work. How are you feeling about all of it?
We are thrilled about it. I've had a few weeks of like having to be in kind of operational land, so it's like very hopeful and feels like really exciting to have this kind of hovering out here and waiting for us. So I love it. I'm glad I'm new in this role and get to like launch this new thing too. It's really cool. Anything else? Karen?
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm sure you've kind of told the process, but like we're delivering it to y'all, and then we get to go before city council, and then we're kind of rolling it out to the public, and we have staff kind of working behind the scenes on doing some facility enhancements and kind of trying to think about for making it like a party, like when we grand open, just because I think that this is a really cool document that gets at doing just the core boring library stuff, but shows that that's actually what makes a library, and doing that stuff really great is what's going to try to, and kind of just reminding ourselves what our goals are in the community. I personally think it's gonna make a really big impact. So I'm kind of excited to share. Is there a date set for the city council?
Yes, so we are going to city council. Did I write it down here? September, August 11th to city council for that one, yeah.
Like a study session.
Study session.
Yeah, I'd be very interested in seeing the action. Just the action plan, if I could. Because that gets into more of a creative kind of
Absolutely.
what we're gonna do and blah, blah, blah. And, I don't need to see how well it, the tracking of it. I'd just be interested in what you came up with.
Yeah, and we'll share that we are refining a lot of it. It was pretty raw. So we're refining, and we're also just welcoming a new leader on our team. So wanted to get her in, let her have a little orientation, and then get her hands in it too. So
And I assume we'll get updates every month.
yes.
Maybe not every action, because that was a lot of action.
No, it's a lot.
Maybe then pick it,
Right.
the highlight, the new one, newly updated.
Yeah,
With the-
totally.
I can't read it from.
Oh, gosh, no.
Okay, great.
For Shelby and everyone, in the past, when something big like this has been presented to council, it's been asked of us as a board to endorse it, support it. Is that something that needs to happen with this now, or are we
I think it is always a question of council, like, what does the library board think of something like this when there's a decision? And so I'll leave it to staff, but when the right time maybe would be to make your opinion known, but I think it's always helpful to know what you all think of something. We need to also adopt something.
Good question, Counselor. I was wondering if we need to do something today, or is it October when we're starting implementation? I can speak to the past things that we've done, is some of us have gone and just been present as hi, we're here supporting you. So there's that also. In the past, as chair, I asked people to write letters to council and just support. I don't think we did a big board action, if I remember correctly, but
Is public comment helpful, or is letter writing and just show support?
I feel like the board has done a mixture of all these things in the past.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a couple of times where y'all kind of said together.
Yeah.
We support this. I think when we were trying to make some staffing enhancements. Y'all chose one of the enhancements to throw your support behind. So that when we went before council, you said we were able to say the library board supports this option. Because we were providing them with several options. But I think there's also times, like you're saying, where you've done letters and others.
Well, and this is coming, your presentation is sooner than our next meeting, so it might be more individual, better.
I'll also just say, because this is coming to us in a study session, we won't vote on it. It's not for action, it's more for council level awareness. And if you did want to give a comment on that night, it would happen after this presentation, so the mayor calendar works. So I think email would be great. If you want to be there, that would be great, but I don't think public comment will determine whether or not it ultimately gets adopted, which will ultimately be.
Yeah, and to speak to more of Carrie's timeline of our rollout, we're gonna we have this meeting, then we have the September 11th meeting with the city council. And then we have August 11th. I'm sorry, I keep saying September. We're not to that month yet. It's a stick there. So we have that cadence happening, and then we are working with our facilities team and our communications team on some of those improvements around here. So in September, we're gonna start seeing some things move around in the building, and we're also sharing that information with the public. You're gonna see us under construction a little bit, enhancing this door, putting in an emergency door on the other side, and then we'll have the north entrance open. So that's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be temporary, but we're going to.
Trial based.
We're gonna trial it, and we're gonna note how it goes.
Just for my household. I don't know, talking about this one.
Awesome.
I'm
Stick.
about it with someone recently too.
Does that mean Alan? Oh, he's days.
So we're working with them to figure out our best service point configuration among our team and their team. But we're very aware of where we need to be and our sight lines and really taking all that very seriously, but.
Staff does.
Yep.
Hopefully some larger stationary pieces of library things will be removed, to kind of make the entrance a little bit more welcome.
So we really want to grand open on October 13th. So we have a closure from October 6th to the 12th. That's been planned with our maintenance team and everybody for a while. So they're gonna change the carpet in this room. Yay. Paint. We're getting new emergency door. We're getting new meeting room furniture. There's a lot of elements. So we really want it to be a wow when patrons come back in the building. So yeah, we're combining it all to be like strategic plan, building refresh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Are you gonna do an event?
We haven't talked really about an event, but I'm sure our comms team really likes to celebrate things, so. Figure out something fun.
In Inglewood Public Schools.
Okay,
For
yeah,
variety of days off, so
okay,
that might be somewhere that you could engage
okay.
the families to give them something to do.
Cool, yes, and we've been talking about what services we'll be able to provide when we're closed for that. And I think we're thinking we're gonna have some staff freed up to do some of that kind of stuff. So that's our big plan. We're also gonna do our branding refresh, so we've gotten our new logo happening this guy. So we're really wanting to make sure all of our colors and our fonts are matching throughout the building. We currently have, I don't know how many generations of signs, Carrie, we've kind of documenting.
We just will sign on.
And that's hot. It's troubling. Oh, thank you. Oh, yes, they're cute too. Carrie,
I can go fetch some.
Which ones are you going for?
sparkly. Sparkly stickers, Carrie.
First board sheet.
Right? They're not all like this. So that's another timeline we're working on. So we're right now in voting for the card, library card design contest. And the winner will be revealed at the block party. 23rd.
Are you coordinating all this with communications?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. They are our best friends. I derail into.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you. We're also.
Yeah, person. It's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Even not just on a screen.
Thanks. I'm real in here.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions, comments?
Okay, we'll go ahead and move on then to the CALCON conference.
Oh, fantastic. I've got these little handouts for you. So CalCon is the state kind of like gathering of librarians. So it happens annually and they usually have a track for trustees. So I just wanted to bring this to you all in case this was something you might be interested in. Usually they go over Colorado library law, they go over different advocacy efforts. Last year, there was a lot of advocacy and legislative efforts among libraries in Colorado. But this is just an opportunity, and it's a one-day thing where they try to stack all of their trustee kind of information. And I know y'all are not a governing board, but I still think this might have some interesting information for anybody who's, more interested, I think, in that like advocacy, legislative, how we can really support bigger efforts that are going on in library lands.
Do you know if they have digital recordings of some of their talks and panels, or is it all in person?
About that this year. Hopefully they would.
Where is it?
This one's in Breckenridge. So it could also be a little fun mountain trip.
Oh, right there.
And there's a tiny URL in the bottom that's calwebs.org, that in the bottom corner, that has more registration information, but this was the best glob of the whole information I could find.
Does it cost us anything to do it?
It's registration fee. Yes. But anyway, I just wanted to throw this out here. No one is required, but just for your information and if anybody is interested in those aspects of this work.
See you, Roger. Yeah.
Bye, see you.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Any questions for you?
Are you sending any staff?
What's that?
Are you sending any staff?
We haven't really talked about who's going to CalCon, if anybody. So perhaps.
Are you going?
I don't have plans to go. I've been to 2 things already.
Yes, that's a lot.
I know, I feel, yeah.
Yeah, I guess this fits in old business, but do we have any budget requests? I was wondering.
We don't have any.
What's missing from?
No, we do not.
Let me try to get our ducks in a row. to make-
We are.
Anyone wants to go to CalCon and be.
Good one. Love it.
That's what's going to be.
Oh, I appreciate you thinking about that.
Well, we'll keep bugging you just to make sure we don't
Yeah.
wait till December.
Yeah, because we do have to spend.
Yeah.
We would like to do that too. Yeah, we are getting our ducks in a row. That Carrie's absolutely right.
Okay, no other old business, so staff's choice.
Okay, I've got some updates for y'all. So I'm kind of gonna go in chronological order because we haven't met for 2 months. It's been a while. Carrie and I both attended the Marmot Council, so that's our consortium. So we went out to Palisade and met with our crew of like 30 libraries were there. They're exploring some new tools that we might use in the future. So we had a very nice brainstorming session with them about what we're looking for in the tools that they do provide to us. So it was a very great use of time. After that, we had our strategic plan implementation workshop. So JR came out and worked with our whole leadership team. We really went through all those activities and actions that you saw. So that was kind of our final meeting with BerryDunn before this launched. And I thought it went very well. We talked about how we'll measure things and move forward. So also all working on kind of refining that stuff right now. I've been leading a series of meetings with our tech services team to learn more about those process and get that reshaped. We had a resignation on that team. So we have our collection development librarian, Matt, moved on. He's got a really cool opportunity, so it's a good thing. He's awesome though, so we'll miss him. He lives in Englewood though, so he's gonna come. But it's an opportunity for us to explore what we want to do with that role. I still think it's going to be a collection development librarian, but we're working on the job description and hopefully you'll see that posted in the next few weeks. We hosted the Englewood Chamber of Commerce here on June 13th, and that was really fun. Got to meet some new folks. We're also part of this South Broadway revitalization plan. So we had a public meeting here on the 17th, on June 17th, to talk through some brainstorming ideas about what people might want from a pop-up library. So we're still really thinking through that, and we'll take our ideas forward to council in September. That's why September keeps getting stuck in my head. I'm like, I know everything going to council in September, but my real thing is going in August. I need to reframe my brain.
There's a pop-up library, like on Broadway.
So we're just talking through what kinds of things members of the community, especially neighbors in that area, want to see from the city. So yeah, that's one idea. We've had these series of meetings with facilities and our communications team about our closure in October and how all of that's going to work. It's a lot of people and projects to coordinate. So we're really trying to get our timing in a row. So we have our communications rolling out at the right times. It's just been a lot of project management and coordination for Carrie and I.
To clarify, will there be a full closure?
Yes, yes, yes.
We're trying to figure out what operations we can keep going, so we're, harking back to maybe COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we try to fully understand the impact
Yeah.
of the facility.
Yeah.
So that we know exactly what we can offer to the public. So that's part of what I've been doing, is being like, I need you to tell me exactly like.
Where and when? So yeah, we're just nailing that all down. So we do have plans to replace some chairs out here, meeting room furniture. We have another thing to tell you about. We've had several bed bug sightings. And a staff chair was discovered to have some bed bug baby and eggs in it. That was bagged up, incinerated. It is gone. After that happened, we had a deep clean of the library, and then we had a double application of pesticide treatment for those critters. And so we're feeling good. We're feeling clean. We're feeling repellent to bugs right now. But that task chair went out and 4 more additional. So 5 total staff chairs, which
Yeah, only one was.
only one was
But there
a
were
problem.
just like dirty, broken ones, so we went ahead and just.
Brody.
Yeah, tossing it on. It was time.
Yeah, so we're working on an expedited furniture order for those pieces of furniture because we need nice chairs for our staff to sit on. They're sitting on hard plastic right now. So that's all happening. We had 2 new employees start this week. Super exciting, new adult services supervisor. So Kirsten Hennigan is here. She comes to us from Minnesota/North Dakota. She kind of lives on the border. Has moved out here, is buying a house in August. I know. So she jumped right in and did tech assist with me on her second day. So she's been sitting at the desk, like she is in and working. So it's going great. I'm thrilled. So yeah, one step closer to having our full leadership team kind of cemented and ready to put our action into place. What else is on my list here? Some upcoming things. We've got the library card design. I told you about that. Strategic plan to council, entrance, closure, grand reopening October 13th. Those are the things I'm just gonna tell you about. Right. 2 months of action and then like forward thinking several months. It was a lot for me today.
How is the staff doing after the incident?
So our medical incident.
Yeah.
So we've had 2 medical incidents as well. I'll pull back on that. We had a fall in one of our restrooms that was pretty traumatic, and we had emergency personnel in. That person left okay. And then we did have a death in our men's restroom. So that I think was handled very well. And our staff really are doing okay about that. We invited over the victim support specialist from EPD. She came over with the therapy dog. That was the right move. So that was really helpful to like get her over and be able to have some really crucial conversations with staff right away. I talked to a number of people who were upset. Some people went home for the day, but it wasn't really a lingering traumatic situation. We'll continue to monitor that though too. Yeah, that was a rough like 2 weeks where we had like fall, death, that was bad. And then yes, the bed bugs aren't helping.
What, was it a young person or a older person?
The death?
Mhm.
I'm not sure how old the person was. We didn't get any information back.
Oh,
They were taken
Were
out
they-
of the
Were they
building.
known to
They were not.
They were not,
No, no one recognized them as a regular.
really?
Yeah. But what I shared with the staff and I'll share with you, I think we are a place that feels safe to a lot of people. And that means they might be here on their worst day.
That's right.
And that's okay. We accept people as they are. And if we have behavioral challenges, that's another thing. But everybody is allowed here and we want you to come even on your worst day.
That's right.
So I was really glad that person got to be with some welcoming people and we got a medical support, did every life-saving measure we could do. It was unfortunately unsuccessful. Yeah, it's been a rough, I'd say, few months for our team and it's kind of hard to, it's hard and nice to have this like hopeful strategic plan hanging out here. But we really are very focused on our operations, making sure we have supportive, a supportive structure really at the end of the day for our team. So that when those terrible things that happen, we are part of society. Things are not going great. And so we know that comes in our doors as well. And so we're going to keep managing to that and helping our staff. So
You're lucky to have.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Carrie, do you have anything?
No, I think that's really good. We're really excited about the new supervisor coming, just because obviously they had been without a supervisor on the team for a long time. Our direct supervisor, Rachel and I have been kind of trying to do all things. And so having another person who can give that team some undivided attention is gonna be really great, especially since that's the team that sees some of those challenges the closest. And on a daily basis and can create a lot of heavy weight for staff. And so I think having somebody kind of help them through that, but then also just kind of breathe some new life into also just our adult programs. I think in our adult services in general, I think we have done some cool things in the past. We're dreaming about cool things for the future. And so kind of having somebody here to kind of lead and guide and direct that.
All right, staff's choice. I'll start with Chelsea.
Don't have anything of note from the council perspective, just be aware that we are in budget season. And there we are. And it'll be a tight year. We are not in a position like Denver is right now, if we're tracking them, where they have about a 200 million shortfall. But it's not gonna be as, we won't be able to do as much as we've been able to do in the last couple of years. And so that will be coming back to council in late summer, but we've been working on that already. And then we have municipal elections this year, so if you want to run for city council or the school board, let me know. I would love to talk about that. But if you're interested in what will be on this year, I'm happy to talk to you about that. And then actually, I have just a question for staff, kind of like an original thing. I have read somewhere that the federal cuts were impacting some of our online services like Libby or Hoopla. Can you say anything about that?
Yeah, there's a lot of misinformation around about that. I think Massachusetts put out kind of a card that said our state is being impacted and it was copied and it's been kind of everywhere, but it doesn't say Massachusetts, it just says our state. So that's kind of flying around. We are not impacted by the federal cuts to our specific resources. Where we will be impacted is our state library is likely going to lose a lot of positions. You may have also seen the state librarian is now the Denver City librarian. So they're losing staff like crazy at the state because they will likely not have funding to keep things going. So that'll impact like training availability for us. That'll impact a lot of just like the behind the scenes work. Yeah. Yeah. CALCON, yeah, maybe impacted. But yeah, those larger like statewide things are gonna be impacted. This year, we will be getting our state grant to libraries. So we get about $11,000 with that supports our collection. That remains funded, but likely next year that'll be gone.
Does it impact the like Marmot network at all, or is that?
No,
Okay.
yeah, totally separate. We pay the dues to keep Marmot going.
Impact some of the other Marmot partners that are potentially more rural and more reliant on funding to maybe even pay into those.
The library. 30 minutes. The public computers and the public restrooms will shut down and close in 15 minutes. And all reservations will continue. Thank you.
I feel like it's been a while since we've had the.
I know. Yeah, JR. That's cheater plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will not.
We'll keep it.
I don't mind.
Thank you for that, since we're kind of.
Yeah.
I got to understand
Yeah.
the word.
Yes,
Yeah.
there are smaller libraries are very reliant on that state grant to libraries. So next year, they're very impacted negatively about their collection budgets. So we did talk a bit at Marmot about how could we support that? How can we maybe take more of the brunt of Marmot so they don't have to?
This is like a very in the weeds question, so if you don't have the answer, I'm not surprised, but $11,000, what size piece of the pie is that for our collections budget?
That's a tiny,
Okay.
it's a real small slice.
Collection enhancement.
Yes.
And not for like our general collection.
Great.
So we've tried to not make
Not
it
be
like
reliant.
operationally necessary.
Got it. That's good.
Is the state library a physical library?
No,
I didn't think so.
yeah,
Okay.
they're just kind of administrative, supporting
Right.
all of us.
Okay.
Mhm. Your time.
I think it's spoken said staff's choice, and then board member's choice. Alex, did you have anything about like the friends? I know we haven't done space. Okay.
Yeah. Had kind of a crazy couple months myself, so.
No, no worries. I knew we had touch base, so. Anybody else have anything?
We do have one other item.
Thank you, Debbie. I keep it-
So, we've been informed that in August, on our August meeting, they're going to be doing conversations with council. And, that's from 5 to 7. Our meeting is at 6. We've been approached whether the board would consider, rescheduling the meeting or, moving it to another date or canceling it so that like Chelsea can attend the conversations with council but if we do decide to have a meeting, so then she's able to attend both.
Would it be possible to have our meeting at 7 instead of 6, just on that one occasion, so that like, I don't know if that works for you, but.
Yeah, this is news to me, I didn't even know how to.
Oh,
It's not.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it did not, it came from the city manager's office that they had,
Schedule.
yeah.
I would be good with, I'm good with 7. I don't know how busy you're gonna be though, if you're able to like.
You guys should do what you need to do, I will plan around it. I will be at conversations with council, and if I need to leave early to come here, I can, or I can wait.
See you with us.
Do you want us to participate in that, correct? And
You are
conversation?
always welcome.
Yeah.
So let's say, don't say.
That's what I thought.
The first hour, like.
You don't know where it's at. Do you know where it's at?
What is called Little Man Ice Cream?
Is it?
Oh,
planned?
over by King
Close.
Supers.
Where?
Units over by Supers. Little Man.
Oh, Little Man, oh, great.
Where is it?
Near our.
The
King Supers at
Can we meet over
University
there?
and there's a Little Man ice cream.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's where it's gonna be.
Good.
No.
Conversations with council. We were just joking, hey, we could have our meeting there.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
Probably the camera.
Right.
It would be really quiet.
It's,
Seven, I think seven works for.
I think we should need to like vote, but,
yes.
if everyone, like, we used to have our meetings at 7.
Yeah. Any other proposals though for change?
We don't know what the, yeah, what is that?
First.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah.
21st, yeah.
And what we can do too, we will just verify agenda items and I will reach out to everybody, make sure 7 o'clock still works.
Okay.
And that's, and,
Do we need to,
yes,
I'll make a motion to hold the August meeting on August 21st at 7 PM instead of 6.
I'll second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
This location, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not long now.
Ready?
Darn,
Ice cream.
You can come sooner.
someone wants to bring it. The library staff.
Oh, yeah.
That's just a contact.
You.
As we get closer, be careful. I'll try to get a reminder what we like.
Yeah,
that would be-
yeah.
Yeah. Or
We lost
on
our
the
reminder.
ice cream.
I hear your phone ring.
Mhm. All right, any other board members' choice items today? Okay, it is 7:06 and we will adjourn the meeting. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.